It's 6:30 p.m. Welcome to MX24 News, coming to you from the Silicon Square here in East Legon. My name is Godwin Nambo. Big discussion of the day. Now, why are cinemas still closed when churches, restaurants, hotels, airlines, and even contact sports are in full operation amid COVID-19? We have the stakeholders on the show tonight. But first, my colleague Marie-France Forjo is on standby with some details of the day's big stories. Marie, good evening.
Good evening. Let's get straight into our stories and some rather unfortunate news. One person has been shot dead, with several others injured in a robbery attack at Alaba, a popular market in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. The unfortunate incident, which took place earlier this afternoon, forced traders at the enclave to flee for safety, causing a near stampede at the market. 3 of the robbers have so far been arrested after engaging in a shootout with police at Santasi roundabout. It comes barely 48 hours after the CEO of a fuel station was shot dead by armed gang at Asuede in the Ahafo Ano Southeast District. Some eyewitnesses gave this account to MX24 News. But now let's get some updates from the Ashanti Regional Police PRO, who is in the person of ASP Godwin Ahianyo, and he joins us via phone. ASP, good evening.
Good evening, my sister.
Thank you very much for joining us. First of all, confirm for me if indeed one person has been shot dead, and then tell me what your investigations have so far revealed as to what the cause of this shootout was about.
Thank you very much for your questions. Once again, I extend my greetings to you and your cherished listeners or viewers. I must say that, yes, this is true. We've once again recorded an unfortunate robbery incident where one person has lost his life. This morning, that is this afternoon around 12:10 p.m., we received a call at the Police Information Command Center to the effect that there's robbery going on around Alaba, where victims have been attacked and being robbed of their valuables. So police proceeded to the area. When the patrol team got there, they had information that there were some persons on 3 motorbikes, numbering about 7, who came there from the market, fired into the air, and then in the process shot one Nuhu Husseini, age 54, an onion seller in the church, who lost his life. There were other persons who also sustained injuries during the attack. As we speak, they are also receiving treatment at the National Government Hospital, and I'm told they are responding to treatment.
Okay.
Police pursue these suspects, and fortunately for us, we were able to apprehend 3 of them. Those that we had are Hamza Nuhu, 22 years, Salif withdrew to 18 years, and Ali Razak, 18 years. Salif Nuhu sustained that shot wound during the pursuit in the right thigh, and he is at the Confado Teaching Hospital receiving treatment under police guard. At the moment, investigation has commenced, and we are on the manhunt for the other person to get them arrested.
Okay. Do we know what items these robbers made away with, and do we have an estimation as to what the value is?
Yeah, it's very difficult for me to mention that value, and but I'm told they robbed unspecified amounts of money from their victims. So far, this is the information I've gathered.
Okay. Some persons close to the scene are complaining that the police didn't honor the distress calls on time. What's your comment to that, and was there a reason why this happened?
Let me just say that it's unfortunate sometimes these eyewitnesses sometimes give wrong information. Unfortunately, others are commending the police for the swift response. Others are saying that the police didn't respond swiftly. I don't know how these persons are reporting this unfortunate robbery incident. I can tell you on authority that our Information Command Center operates 24/7. That is 24 hours, 7 days in a week. And anytime you call, they call the patrol, because the patrol vehicles and the motorbikes are already in town. The minute the call goes through, they also inform the patrol and then they move. Had it not been that they have swiftness, perhaps these three of them would have escaped. But because of their swiftness and then the speed at which they responded to this distress call, that made the police to apprehend the three persons that are in our custody at the moment of. Well, I witnessed some reports on sentiments, other reports on subjectivity and other, but I don't begrudge them. I won't banter them. No, ours is to fight robbery. Ours is to make sure when crime is committed and we get the perpetrators arrested and then made them to face the full cost of the law. So that's exactly what we are doing.
Okay. ASP, as you try to fight robbery, you'd agree with me that this incident has been one too many. Would you say the Ashanti Regional Police Command is overwhelmed? And what are you doing to tackle this issue?
Let me just admit that, yes, for the past week or two, we have recorded cases of armed robbery where persons have lost their lives, admittedly. But notwithstanding, we are doing our bit as officers to make sure the perpetrators are arrested. Some of the cases we have arrested people, they are in custody, others are on remand, they are assisting police with investigations. We have had other robberies in the past where the criminals have been arrested and put before court. We got conviction and all that. This is cases that we have recorded. Today, we're lucky to get 3 apprehended. I'm sure with the 3 that we have arrested, it will go a long way in helping us to get the other persons also arrested and then bring this robbery, which is very much in the metropolis, to its various moments. So that is what we are doing at the moment. We are getting all the information that we need to get, and I'm sure the public, good people of Kumasi, will also help us by way of sharing every bit of information that they pick with the police to be able to get to the bottom of this unfortunate robbery incident that we are recording.
All the best in your pursuit. Thank you very much. That's Ashanti Regional Police Command PRO ASP Godwin Ahianyo. Now, a 34-year-old unidentified woman lost her life in a tragic road crash on the Kintampo-Techiman Highway in the early hours of Thursday. The accident involved a single Toyota commercial vehicle with registration number AS 803020 traveling from Techiman to Tatale in the northern region. According to passengers, the bus driver was speeding when the incident happened. They say upon reaching the Amomankwanta and Krutache stretch, which is an accident-prone zone, the rear tire of the bus burst, causing the driver to lose control of the vehicle. The car somersaulted and crashed into the side of the road, killing 1 person and injuring 15 others. This was corroborated by eyewitnesses and the Kintampo South District Police. The body of the female passenger who perished has since been deposited at the Jama morgue. We will keep you updated on this story in a subsequent bulletins. Now, moving on, the Homeland Study Group Foundation has called on the international community and human rights actors to intervene in the case of the death of one of the suspects in the recent secessionist attempt for the restoration of Western Togoland as an independent state from Ghana. Were arrested on September 25 after they blocked some major roads in the Volta region and seized the police vehicle as well as weapons. The deceased was among over 100 people who were flown to Accra for the alleged involvement in the unrest by secessionists. Spokesperson for the Homeland Study Group, George Nyakpo, has described the development as worrying and called on the international community to intervene. He spoke to MX24 News.
That issue that happened, we are reporting the issue to the international community that matters. Because as you know, we belong to UNTO. That says that we understand that we should do our things in peace. And this is what we have been doing since 2017. So we are still engaging them on the next line of action. All we know is that government might have had their hands in what happened. We have reports that people are being tortured with a hot iron and with electric shock. We have all these reports. So maybe government of Ghana has something hiding, which the whole world needs to investigate. I just sent them the report a few hours ago because I want to wait more. I received the news this dawn. So I want to wait more and see what it's about before I send it. And I'll send it to them because it is confirmed that this person, one of them, has passed on. So I'll send it to them. And within the close of day or tomorrow, I'll be receiving information.
Now, founder and leader of Dominion House Chapel International, Pastor Michael Encho Ajano, has tipped President Akufo-Addo as the likely winner of the 2020 presidential elections on December 7. Speaking on today's edition of Opposing Views here on MX24, the church leader said the number 20 is a prophetic number which signifies completion, and therefore any government which finds itself in power now is likely to be re-elected.
Take this view from 2020 aspect,
okay.
The number 2020.
Okay.
You know, the number 20 is a number that means completion or perfection, as the same as the number 7.
Okay.
So in this matter, the 20 number we are looking up to represent that I don't want to be doing a particular politics here,
okay,
or pointing a particular party over here. But that means that the 20 number means that the party who is now ruling now can, be elected as the next president. The candidate who is
so the number 20 signifies that whichever party is in power at a particular time will retain the elections.
That's it.
Really?
That's it.
How does this even work? Well,
it's a spiritual matter.
It's a spiritual matter.
And then the number 22 is a representative that it can.
But in a sharp rebuttal, a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Emmanuel Salifu, who appeared on the same show, said such electoral prophecies are of no significance to the elections.
Man is eager to know what lies ahead. So we can easily pray on that and then get into that aspect of... Now, if you have noticed, people are very quick to say, I am the one who predicted. It's not a competition. And what is the essence of all that prediction? What does it do for us? The people who predicted that Akufo-Addo will be president, what has it done for us? For what relevance was that prediction for us now, 4 years down the lane? Can we know that? Or they are not interested in that. They are only interested in predicting who will win, and after that we go to sleep for the next 3 years and resurface on the 4th year to predict who is coming to win again. You see that?
Reverend Father Emmanuel Salifu there. And this is where I hand over to Godwin Nambo, who is on standby with in-depth analysis of the day's big story. Over to you.
Many thanks, Mary. When we return from the break, we bring you more in these stories. Also, business, showbiz, and sports is on standby. Stay with us.
Shop online, get free swipes, and enjoy greater security with a card that turns banking on its head. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Hello, viewers. I'm feeling very frustrated and bored in Sambulai. I'm very happy. If you don't understand, don't worry, because myself, I don't understand. In this addition, Vodafone Ghana has now made it possible to send money from Vodafone Cash to all network free. We will cross over to our senior reporter for more details.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing in front downtown. You know, I'm learning to make a vlog. I'm not funny as you said. Vodafone, I'm not quite said. What you miss is a card to be Emily to be echo all the network. I will check up there. Me to see Montezo. Diamond Falcon.
Fifia, Matendo says, don't you put on charges, Manome. Joe, yeah, bro, charges on your womb low, at the harmony, a beer says do the heart, charges or clan.
Hanning and you may fend on me. Instant America charges me no charges I met G. Naka charges say when we know money cafe ni BP. Oh, and if that
for me, I do a lot of online transactions. I guess here. See, the excitement for me is that I get to save a lot on Vodafone cash.
Please put me down.
I'm so excited. I can now send money to all networks without any charges.
Me ye jediniba. A bribia says me chia majuma ye fokan. Sika me chia se charges no. And do so do. Nansu say dear. Me the Vodafone cash.
Sending money on Vodafone cash to all networks is now free. Send any amount of money as many times as you like to all networks for free. Dial *110# now to send money.
Any amount for Masumo. Video 2. Put him in car. And yeah, Muso.
This is the red news. Apologize.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Since 2017, a new dawn is breaking in Ghana. The NPP is building the foundations for growth and transformation. We are curbing unemployment with new and decent jobs.
Thanks to Nana, I've got a new job through NAPCO. That is why I'm voting for him as the MPP.
The promise of free SHS is now a reality.
Through education, I have a brighter future. That's why I'm voting for Nana and the MPP.
The future of our country is in the hands of a competent leader, a man you can trust.
I trust Nana.
This December, let's protect our progress. Let's give Nana 4 more to do more for you.
2020, 4 more for Nana. 2020,
yet for Nana.
MX24 News coming to you live from the Silicon Square here at East Legon. It's a fine Friday evening. Straight into our stories now. 2020 has been a year riddled with many unfathomable occurrences, and unarguably, the COVID-19 plague, for the want of a better expression, is the chief of them all. The impact of this global pandemic has left many nations, especially developing countries, struggling to pick up the pieces from what could be described as ailing economies. In Ghana, government put in place robust measures in a bid to insulate the country from the impact of the novel disease. One of such measures was the lockdown of almost all sectors of the economy. But after nearly 4 months of strict restrictions, President Akufo-Addo instructed a gradual lifting of restrictions on various sectors of the economy. Now, churches, restaurants, hotels, airlines, contact sports, and even schools have begun operation. But it's been 7 months and cinemas still remain closed. The National Film Authority Action Group, NFA-AG, as they call themselves, a pressure group, has petitioned the President through the Ministry of Tourism, Creative Art and Culture to open cinemas across the country. They are of a strong view that cinemas and the creative arts industry in general are better positioned to handle and promote COVID-19 safety protocols than many of the reopened sectors. Before we bring you some slides, let me state that we spoke with the country manager of Silverbird Ghana, and she did mention that government has summoned her office to come over next week, Wednesday, to have a discussion on this matter. But we stepped out to speak with some people on the street on what they think about this. Here's what they had to say.
That the sign and the data. You understand me? So they know the best, because to me, I've been hearing that some part of the western west, the virus is still this thing. So at least the president knows what he's doing, or the government knows what he's doing. So you have to wait for them to see if it's the time, fine. If not the time, fine. Yeah, because the corona is real.
I feel a little bit bad because, we need to pop, we need to chill. So I just want to say the government to say something about it or do something about it. We have measures that we take, that's protecting your nose, you wash your hands, you take hand sanitizer and all. So that one too is also something that we should take into consideration, that we should apply them whenever we are in public.
When we go to the cinema, we have fun and we are able to communicate to each other. The COVID is almost gone, so we must live our normal life.
That's one of the sources of entertainment to the youth and everybody outside there.
Those were some interesting comments from the streets of Accra. We have some slide to show you. Marie is standing by. What are the reasons? What are the reasons for the NFA AG calling for? Yes.
So they essentially the first reason is pretty basic. That of course they need to get into business. They need to start. So that's the first reason, and they are also making the case that a number of restrictions on indoor and enclosed sectors have been lifted, such as churches, mosques, conferences, and award shows. So we think it's about time the ban is lifted on cinemas. Even passenger buses have been allowed to operate at full capacity.
Right.
So they have a case there. And then they remake the point, my apologies, they remake the point about churches, conferences, award shows, which are allowed to admit a minimum of 500 and a maximum of 2,000 people. And they come back to make their last point that the cinema has a capacity of 300 seats. So if you're allowing a maximum capacity of 2,000 people to converge, why not allow the cinemas to operate? And then beyond stating the reasons why they think it should be open, they go ahead to make some proposals, sort of meet government halfway. So they are proposing to come up with an online booking system which will allow them track and trace customers easily. So this is a way to reduce passing
it's an interesting. I think it's an interesting proposal.
It is.
Booking tickets
I don't
online.
think it should even be because of COVID. They can do that long term. And they're also saying they're willing to do only 50% per show so as to enforce the social distancing directive. So
that is them breaking their back, actually.
Yes, because it is a 300-seater capacity. That means 150, and that's losing money. But they are willing to do that just to have their cinemas open. And they will insist that people wear their nose masks from home, and then till the time they leave the cinemas, they'll keep it on. They're not allowed to take off their mask whilst they're in the cinemas. And then they, as stakeholders, will put in effort and make it their utmost goal to inform and educate filmmakers and cinema goers on the risk and how to minimize them at every opportunity. So they made some proposals. We'll see if government will listen to them.
Right, thank you, Marie. Now, joining us via phone is Cosby Bigpig, who is the convener of the National Film Authorities AG Group, and also is Solomon Fixin, who is an actor and producer. Good evening, gentlemen. Let's have this discussion.
Good evening.
Good evening, boss.
Right, let me start with you, Cosby, Mr. Bigpig. You did state in your letter, petition letter to the government, that you had earlier sent a letter on the 4th of August with the same petition, but you did not hear from government. Have you heard from them now?
We still haven't heard from government, but like I said in earlier submissions, it's that as a film stakeholder group, we seek to uphold the law and the rules of this country, and so it is our utmost intent to uphold every law that is governing this country, and so we do not intend to do anything lawless. And that's why we are still pleading through your medium, even as we have presented a petition, resubmitted a petition. We are using the media to try and get our message across for government to at least pay attention to us, take a look at the submissions, our proposals in that document, and probably call us for a discussion or take an action that will benefit the entire industry and the nation at large.
Right. Now, you made a number of proposals and stated a number of reasons. Now, are these a collective proposal from cinema operators all over the country, or just a number of people?
Now, these proposals are consultations that we have done with cinema operators, with film stakeholders, to and arrive at these proposals that we have made. Part of it being that as an industry, making a certain request, something must give. And that something must give means that we also have to be ready, to put in our best to ensure that the safety and security of our patrons is also something that we uphold very, very strongly. And so for us, it is a collective input that we are presenting, and we are asking that anybody who wants to come to the cinemas and have fun or learn one or two things about our culture through our films, these are some of the things that we are willing to do to get back, get our industry back in place. Now, I must say that this industry has suffered a lot of this kind of restriction. Back in the 70s and in the 80s with the coup d'etats in Ghana, entirely all cinemas in Accra, cinemas dotted across the country, all suffered, a huge loss because the nightlife, the restrictions, the curfews blocked everything. So the industry really suffered a big hit. Now, in the current republic, the Fourth Republic, we have worked, tirelessly to get people, back onto the cinema culture, back to loving to be in the cinemas, back to loving to go out and watch movies, and fraternize. And so during the 2019 year of return, the numbers actually grew. There was an upsurge on people's, interest in the cinema. So the cinema culture was more or less getting back. Unfortunately and sadly for all of us.
Cosby. Right, Cosby. Let me go to Solomon Fixinowu, who is an actor and a producer as well. Solomon, good evening.
Good evening, Godwin.
Right, Solomon. Now, it's been 7 months, Solomon. 7 whole months. That's a long time for anybody to be inactive, and for any business to be redundant. You guys are probably losing money. How has it been for you as a person?
It's been tough. I won't lie to you, it's been tough. As a matter of fact, I'm emotional right now because I asked myself, the ministry under which our industry falls under, what are they doing? Because we've had series of presidential addresses, and we have restaurants working, we have bars, we have churches open, people are having conferences and seminars. And most of this, some of the sports and the parks, they are not even following the laid down COVID-19 code. They are having their rally, they are having their election campaign, whatever. What is happening to the cinema? What at all is happening to the cinema? Why is it that it's taking long for the president to come out to say that all cinemas are open? It's like we've been too, I don't know, for the last, too relaxed, I should say. It is right now that we are seeing campaigns going on here and there. But things should be going on from industry stakeholders before the government is able to do something. People are not working. Crew members are not working. Actors are not working. People have their projects in the pipeline. They can't even premiere. How many streaming platforms do we have that people will even go online to stream? People don't even like going to streaming platforms to do so. So the procedures, they don't even know some of the sites available. So we don't know why this thing is happening. It's tough. We are struggling. We are suffering. It's not easy, Godwin. And the government needs to...
So there you on the line.
Yes, I am.
Yes, so but the information minister, Kojo Oponkrema, has said that the cinema poses a higher risk for people to contact coronavirus. I'm not exactly sure why, but what do you make of it? Because he has said that cinemas especially, people hold hands, people, how it is. You and I know how it works. So he says it poses a high risk for people to contact the coronavirus or to even cause a second wave of the virus. So what do you make of this? I mean, this is a just call, isn't it?
Oh, for me, it is not. It is not. Okay, so when they hold, he's a politician. So when they hold their manifesto hearings and campaigns and stuff like that, and they hold seminars, don't they shake hands? Are they not always wearing their, what do we call it, mask? Are they not having their social distancing measures properly monitored? So what is preventing that being done at the cinemas? If we 300 chairs, why can't we have 150 people going to the cinemas to watch it? Because these seminars and stuff like that, people go to church and stuff like that. They shake hands because they are using sanitizers, they are washing their hands. So why is it that in the cinemas, we can have people there who would make sure that all these things have been respected?
Right.
I don't agree with him saying that.
What are you saying? But so let's move the argument further. Now, some will say that the cinema was an already struggling industry when it comes to movies, especially in Ghana. People don't go to watch Ghanaian movies in the cinemas. So are producers looking at different means of making money when it comes to putting their works out?
Even before this whole COVID-19 started, producers are already working behind the scenes, making sure that they are getting their projects on enough, streaming platforms, distributors that will make sure that their work travel far and wide. So even before this COVID-19 thing happened, they are already working. But where are the streaming platforms? Where are the distributors? Do we have greater content, wider market to get to the global market? These are things that we are working on. Because this thing has happened, then we are going to consider that. They've been considering that a very long time ago. And there is a struggle over there. And then we have this one. Please, the struggle the more. So if there is an ability to just reduce the restriction a little bit, we can do it.
Hold on, Solomon, for me. Let me speak again with Cosby Bigpay, who is the convener of the action group that is petitioning government. Cosby, what has been the major challenge? You work with these, you're a producer too, you work with these guys. For 7 months now, what has been the main challenge for actors, crew members, everybody involved in this game? What has been the alternative means of survival for these guys?
Alternative means of survival, that is a big challenge.
We seem to have lost Cosby on the line. But back to you, Solomon. So what's the way forward for you if governments do not open cinemas?
Honestly, at this point, I actually don't know. I've been struggling to think about stuff to do and where to stream them. And, all these things, it's like we don't even have the available market here in terms of digital work. We don't have it. Where we are going to put our work, we don't have it here. So the popular one that we have, or we all know, is Netflix. And you ask yourself, how many Ghanaian movies do we have on Netflix? What are the criteria needed to get your project on Netflix? These are some of the things that we need to know.
So as a producer, I think that's a very interesting question I should ask you and your colleagues. I think we've seen a number of Nigerian movies on Netflix, quite a number of Nigerian movies. What is happening with the Ghanaian movies?
I can only talk for myself. Because I have actually not produced in a while, so I don't know what is happening. I can only talk for myself. I believe that it's a matter of content. When we have quality content, that is what people are looking out for. They just don't want to have just anything on their streaming platform. If the storyline, the plot, the characters, the entire scenery, the picture quality, the sound, the acting will not get the kind of content they want on their site, then they will not get it there.
Yes.
So we, as producers, to do stuff that is worthy of being on such streaming platforms.
Well, Solomon, thank you so much for those passionate remarks. Solomon Fixnowu is an actor and also a producer in the Ghana film industry. Also, I spoke with Cosby Bigpay, who is the convener of the National Film Authority Action Group, petitioning government. But I have also on the line Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwesi Agyemang. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And thank you for joining us. I think it is fair to ask why cinemas and beaches are still closed when churches, hotels, restaurants, and other contact sports are in operation.
Thank you. I believe we've been engaging since March when we had the first few cases reported. And everybody who has followed the conversation will understand the challenges that we've all gone through. The various associations, the various units have all been engaged fully by ourselves and our ministry. And so if you speak to, let's say, the beach owners, if you speak to the nightclubs, if you speak to the cinema owners and operators, they all understand the journey that we've been on. Suffice to say, the President has always indicated in all his broadcasts that first he will protect lives and then livelihoods. From what we gather and from our discussions with the task force on COVID, there are areas that are flashpoints, if I should put it that way. One, the need for ventilation in all the areas of operation, because where you have a closed area, the chances are you could have a spread. Two, where there are people meeting for more than 2 hours or so, the chances are that there could be a spread. So at every given time, we've gone back with these operators, review the protocols as may exist and protocols as they may suggest. And at every point in time, these protocols are presented to the team in charge, and then they advise on the next steps. As we know, and I think the operators will tell you, on Wednesday there's a special meeting for executives of the Association of the movie houses, the beaches, and the nightclubs. And I believe at that point we will review where we are in the journey. But it's not something that is being done lightly, it's not being taken lightly. There are conversations that have gone on, and they are where we are in that journey.
Mr. Ajiman, you did state earlier, but Madam Fumi Onoma, who is the country manager of Silverbird, had told us that, yes, there is a meeting happening on Wednesday. But you mentioned earlier that you already engaged stakeholders. And speaking with Cosby Bikpe, who is the convener of the National Film Authority Action Group, he has said that since August, they've not heard from government.
So I think, I don't know who qualifies to speak on behalf of the
Film Association?
The cinema houses. I'm talking, the cinema houses are the ones that have closed. And Madam Fumi, like you said, has confirmed to you that there's a meeting on Wednesday. She will probably also confirm to you that there have been meetings that they've held with our office. And so if one part then says, I've not heard anything or I don't know anything, then probably that's also another conversation. But to all intents and purposes, and in fairness to all the operators, we've had meetings upon meetings. If you speak to the nightclub, 2 weeks ago, we were in a meeting in the minister's office. So if you speak to all the nightclub owners, they will tell you. If you speak to the beaches, the proprietors of Labadi and all those things, about a week ago, we had a meeting at the tourism authority. So it's not like things are not happening, engagements are not ongoing. But like the President said from day one, decisions will be based on data and science. And if the people in charge, the technical people in charge, advise that the particular restrictions should still remain, then we will go with it. But we have engaged, and that's why we are having another meeting on Wednesday to see what are some of the changes that are required, what are some of the protocols that can be adapted or adopted for their use. Then we move on.
Mr. Agyemang, I attended the wedding party last week, Saturday, and it's almost as if there's no COVID at all, or there was no COVID. But I have, Mr. Agyemang, please stay on the line for me as I speak.
So the wedding probably was outdoors, right?
Yes, it was an outdoor event.
Yeah, thank you. That's why if you listen to the medical fraternity, if you listen to the people in charge, I did mention there are peculiar reasons why, for example, a cinema is different from an outdoor event. Because outdoor, there is ventilation, there is possibility that per the science and what they tell us. Whereas indoor, there's a concentration.
Mr. Agyemang,
two distinctions have to be made. Yes, we understand that people are not obeying the protocols outside. If you go to most of the places outside, I see people sitting in trotro, people sitting not wearing their mask. But that is not to say because of that, if there's a danger in one particular area, it should be overlooked.
Mr. Agyemang, so with that explanation, let me quickly ask you before I go back to Cosby. Then what is the rationale behind the beaches being closed as well?
There are discussions ongoing with the beaches. They will tell you we also need to examine the ability to hold somebody responsible for the protocols. That is critical to this discussion. If, for example, you go to a church, the church takes data. I mean, everybody who comes to church, the requirements of the law now, they will have to give all the information to a certain official so that in case there is any spread, contact tracing can be done. Same with restaurants, same with other places. So if you go there, the onus is on the operators to take that data.
Not to cut you, Mr. Agyemang.
The issue with the beaches, we've engaged with them, and that's why I raised this issue. The issue with the beaches, it's a two-pronged issue. One, it's compliance of some of the factors that need to be in place. So if you go to Labadi, for example, all the restaurants and bars there are free to open. We've told them. But it's getting people in the water, getting people to mingle and all that is where the issue is. And so that's why we continue to engage here, and that's why we are having this meeting on Wednesday. And I believe after that we'll all be clear on the roadmap.
I'm trying to go to Mr. Cosby for the same question. But quickly, Mr. Agyemang, in that case, then with the cinemas, they have argued and they are proposing that they do online bookings, and so then you can trace everybody who comes to the cinema because they booked online. So if there's any case of COVID, you can trace it. But let me go back to Cosby. Cosby, you heard what the sector minister said, the CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority said. How do you respond to this?
I heard what he said, and for me, it's not in our place to start playing a blame game. Government has done fantastic in handling the situation. And all we are saying is that much as restrictions and protocols have been put in place for certain other sectors to operate, we are proposing that similar protocols are also looked at in connection with our sector. I mean, you rightly asked him the question. Some of the explanations given for the reasons why the cinemas are not opened, it falls flat on the argument, because if it's because of the air-conditioned space, conferences are happening in an air-conditioned environment. Events are being held in air-conditioned environment. None of them are being restricted from taking place. Some of them are happening with larger number of people, longer durations than a film will take. Maximum duration of a film is 2 hours.
Yeah.
So if you are given a church, if you are given any religious organization the permission to meet for 2 hours in one space, what stops you, from allowing the cinemas to operate?
Right, Cosby, he has said that there's a meeting. He has said that there's a meeting next week, Wednesday, with all the various major stakeholders, and that government would get back to everyone after that.
That is an exciting news for us, because we believe that we all need to be heard. We all need, this communication to get open for people to know exactly what is going on. It's not just meeting with the cinema owners and operators alone, because the entire film industry, the passengers, stakeholders, everybody is in limbo. Nobody knows what is going to go on. And so that's the reason why, for us as the action group of the NFA, we are putting out this information for people to know that, look, there's hope in your investment that you have put in to produce a film that is sitting there. Some have to borrow money to finish the productions. And when you borrow money in this country, it is accruing interest. And that is where our challenge is. While the interest is accruing and you are not able to also market the film, then what do you do to yourself?
Right.
So those are some of our challenges, and we're pleading. I mean, we're believing that as this conversation has started,
awesome.
Mr. Ajiman will carry on with the good work that they are doing with the ministry and advise government accordingly to look at our sector as well and be able to lift the restrictions for the cinemas to be open.
Absolutely.
It will go a long way to help even government in communicating some of the policies around this coronavirus situation.
Right, absolutely. We look forward to a favorable response next week, Wednesday. Thank you very much, Cosby Bigpay, and thank you very much to Akwesi Ajiman, who is the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. Cosby Bigpay is the convener for the National Film Authority Action Group. Now, in business, the government of Ghana is set to establish a new states bank known as the National Development Bank. That and more coming up with the Kwabena Mayal.
Angelina, you be cool in my temperature. If you call, say cheese, take a picture. Shaka pose, make a see, take a picture.
In the leg book, boa. Why the party there today? Hey mama, hey I ever say.
What's up, GH? Welcome to MX Beats, your official entertainment and lifestyle home. And every single week, we're bringing you your favorite artists.
Say cheese, take a picture. Shaka pose, make a see, take a picture.
Indeed, we also bring you exclusives in music videos, interviews. Honestly, we have got you covered right here on MX Beats.
On this show, we help connect new talent, write the right mix of music to boost your energy.
Big man, big things, yeah. Tim, still shoes, big things, yeah. You figure say we they come joke me as I they come, my mind was plenty. Charlie.
My name is Jason Elaine.
My name is Miss Drew.
My name is DJ Varosky, and I'm here to give you the best of music.
You're still watching MS24 News. It's time to do business. My name is Kwabena. I'm here now to our first story. The government of Ghana is set to establish a new state bank known as the National Development Bank. Now, the move is to provide innovative and long-term financing instruments to specific sectors of the economy. Speaking to MS Business, Deputy Finance Minister Akufo-Addo noted that the National Development Bank is also expected to leverage foreign private capital for industrial and agricultural development in the country.
A lot of work has gone into it. It has not been set up the way you asked. I take set up to mean to have the building sitting there, to have people sitting in. That has not happened yet. But it's definitely one of the ways we are trying to get government to play some critical roles in the financial services sector for the purposes of financing critical government initiatives where the private banking interest would not find it expedient to go. So it forms part of government's own view of what a good financial services sector will be. We will pursue that, and I'm confident in the coming years we will set up a credible national development bank that would focus on national development to serve more social needs of financing.
Now let's do some more stories. Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research at the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Akufo-Addo, has called for long-term sustainable jobs in the face of rising unemployment in the country, whilst commending government for setting up the Nation Builders Core initiative. He reiterated the need for a long-term development plan geared towards addressing unemployment in the country. Professor Akufo-Addo was speaking at the 13th National Development Forum here in Accra.
Long-term jobs. I have highlighted NAPCO. It's a very good initiative because when we churn out our graduates, they don't find employment. Oftentimes they request work experience. As somebody said, work experience is not on the market. You can't buy work experience. You need to gain, that experience. So with NAPCO, one is able to, after 3 years, one is able to get experience and then transition into permanent jobs. But that transition is what is not clear to us.
Now it's time to look at the performance of the cedi against the major trading currencies. Now the US dollar are selling at 5 cedis 71 pesos with a 0.01 differential for the buying price at 5 cedis 70 pesos. Also the pound sterling selling at 7 cedis 36 pesos, also with a 0.1 differential for the buying price. The Japanese yen pegged at 0.05. Let's shift focus to the commodities market, where gold prices witnessed a marginal increase of $14, now selling at $1,881 per ounce, with cocoa prices also witnessing a decline. Some bad news for the cocoa farmers, $29 decline, now selling at $2,309 per metric ton. Crude prices pegged at $37 per barrel. So for those within the financial sector, these are the figures to rely on. And that's it for business on MS24 News. My name is Kwabena. I'm your up next sports with Benedict Owusu.
Well, time to update you in the world of sports. In our very first story, Black Stars coach Siki Akono has named the 23-man squad for next month's 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Sudan. Now, Chelsea left-back Baba Aman, FC Metz defender John Boy, and China-based Mubaa Kwakas, who have been called up to the team. Also making a return to the team are Columbus Crew right-back Harrison Affle and Crystal Palace winger Jeffrey Schlobo. Siki has also handed debut call-up to German-born 19-year-old winger Jimmy Laurelin, while he explained why Baba Aman was called.
Was once a regular player here. Due to injury, he was taken out. Now he's back, he's fit, he's playing very well with his team. Unfortunately, he's not had a chance to play in the first team, but he's had a couple of friendly matches since August, September, and even lastly, October, this recently, 24th October, which he played against Liverpool second team. And these matches, he's played 90 minutes, somewhere 90 minutes, a lot of 90 minutes, and of course 70 minutes. So we've taken a lot of consideration looking at the fact that we have a little bit of weakness within that area. The fullbacks, I thought it's necessary to bring him to, of course, compete with Gideon on that.
All right, so Black Stars coach Siki Akono explaining why he invited Baba Aman to the team. Baba is one of many other players that have been invited by coach Siki Akono. So the full list on your screen, Richard Ofori with Orlando Pirates is also back, and then Gideon Mensah in the team. You look at the forward, Tariq Fosu, Andrea Ayew, his brother Jordan. Tomorrow when you join us on Playmakers, there will be more on the Black Stars squad. And one player who was a sure bet to be in the squad is Thomas Partey. Well, he has disclosed that the moment he found out he was signing for Arsenal on transfer deadline day.
Of anything, I was okay. I was talking to
Thomas Partey with Arsenal. You hear more from him on tomorrow's edition of Playmakers. Well, his international teammate Jordan Ayew has been named in Crystal Palace squad for their game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's on the bench after recovering from coronavirus. Well, we'll still stay with the English Premier League, and Pep Guardiola hopes to remain at Man City beyond this season despite Barca's presidential candidate Victor Font saying he wants him to return. Well, Guardiola is in his final year of his contract with City but hopes to extend his stay at the Etihad Stadium.
I'm incredible.
That's your sports. Thanks for watching.
And you're still watching MX24. My name is Fatichi. Let's start showbiz now. Today, the Tertiary Music Awards Ghana has officially been launched. The Ghanaian-owned awards scheme is aimed at recognizing and promoting tertiary students in the music industry. Chief Executive Officer of the scheme, Duke Sowa, told MX24 that nominations are opened with the final event slated for next year.
Who are very good with music, but the point is that they either, if you are enrolling for a tertiary level education, you either drop out at a point or defer, or you don't even enroll at all because you feel that you need to focus 100% on music. So you realize that it will leave a gap in your educational life. So yes, you do the music, you get all the money, but how well educated are you? That's the whole concept behind the Tertiary Music Awards Ghana project. So if you want to get nominated, you basically, or you just go on our website, www.tertiarymusicawards.com. You click on the nomination form, then it comes up. So it gives you various options. So it will come up in March. We're hopeful, or we're looking at doing it by the end of March. We'll nominate all this. In fact, we'll award all these people. So we'll have a grand event. So you can follow our pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
And yes, thank God it's Friday. One way to end the stressful weekend and usher you into the week while keeping your spirits high is listening to the hottest jams. Our very own DJ Viroski will be live today on your screen, serving you with the hottest hip-hop, reggae, dancehall, classic hits. Get your dancing shoes ready. DJ Viroski is all set for tonight and has this message for you.
Have you seen the promo? I mean, the promo says it all. The mixes, the scratches, the cuts. I mean, we just want to bring Accra, not Ghana, not the world, the globe. Before you step out to your clubs, to your pubs, to your girlfriend's place, to your boyfriend's place, make sure it's on MX24. Because Viroski will be dropping some hot tunes, some amazing things. You know what I do, Charlie? Just play the music, let's jam. Charlie, that's what's going to happen. Tonight, it's going to be late, it's going to be super. Don't miss it. Early jam, Charlie.
And talking about the promo, let's check it out.
Angelina, be cool in my temperature. If you call,
Say cheese, take a picture. Shaka pose, make I see, take a picture. Why the party there today? Hey mama, hey I ever say, shake your body.
And yes, we really can't miss it tonight. That's exactly 8:30 p.m. on MX24. You don't have to miss it. Godwin continues next, and that's it for Showbiz.
Are you ready for early jam?
I am. It's Friday after all.
Yes, that's
Start the
it.
weekend early.
If you're not going anywhere tonight, the place to be is on MX24. It's Ellie Jam with DJ Varoski. We are getting our dance shoes ready. Until then, this has been MX24 News. My name is Godwin Nambo. I did this with...
I am Marie-France Fojo.
It's a Friday. Take it easy. Good night.
Good night.